What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud with Cap Show. NFL Week 4, some big games coming up. My Indianapolis Colts are hosting the Tennessee Titans. I think this is a great matchup for the Colts. Coming from that big win last weekend when they were down, heavy underdogs against Kansas City, and we ended up winning that game. I think the Colts can really get this game. And all the times I bet on the Colts or pick the Colts to win, they end up doing the complete opposite. They normally lose. And then when I pick against the Colts, they win. So it kind of flip-flops, but I think the Colts, what they need to do is stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the X factor of the Tennessee Titans offensively, and like I said before, Ryan Tannehill, I do think there's weakness still in his game. He's not a Super Bowl winning champion quarterback, so I think right now I'm going to go Colts at 3.5. I know it's a kind of a reach, but I think if Derrick Henry has a breakout game, which I'm expecting him to, he's on my fantasy team, I think, the Colts are in for a long, long game, and I think Tennessee can drag this out and get the W just as easy. It really depends on the Colts defense. Can they stop Derrick Henry? Can they put pressure on Ryan Tannehill? That's the huge question mark. Shaquille Leonard, the star linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, he's out again with that back injury. I just hope he's back some way through the halfway point of the season. They definitely need him. And if he's going to miss the whole season, which I doubt it, it's going to be a long season for the Colts, and that increases the chances of Colts missing the playoffs, which is kind of sad, really. But I'm expecting Jonathan Taylor to have a good game as well. Matt Ryan, 3 touchdowns, 4 picks this year. I think this is so evenly matched. It really, really depends who's going to show up, who's going to play their A game here. If the Colts play their A game, I think they can win. Same thing with Tennessee Titans, but the X factor is definitely Derrick Henry. Is he going to break out and rush for over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns? That's the difference right there. Now, if we can stop Derrick Henry, we'll let Ryan Tannehill do his thing. Let Ryan Tannehill beat us. We're talking about Ryan Tannehill, dude. Okay, he's not a Super Bowl champion quarterback. He's never been to the Super Bowl, okay, let alone what he's done last year in the playoffs. So I think right now I like the Colts at home. I'm going Colts. I'll take the 3.5 spread. 43 is the over-under. I probably lean more towards the under right now with that. But I like the Colts. I like the Colts because I'm expecting the Colts to win here. You guys just had a big game last weekend. You guys are hosting the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee beat us twice last year. So this is really a revenge game for them. And for Matt Ryan to be at home, no excuses. The roof's going to be open. A nice, beautiful afternoon in Indianapolis. So why not? I like the Indianapolis Colts over the Tennessee Titans to start off right. And then we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a Sunday night game. I think this is the best game, one of the best games all weekend. Both teams are 2-1. Mahomes versus Tom Brady. Look, they know each other really well, played against each other in a lot of playoff battles and in the Super Bowl. Yes, Tom Brady won that Super Bowl. I think Mahomes this year, he is balling out. 8 touchdowns, only 1 pick. I mean, everybody's talking about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. What about Patrick Mahomes, dude? People really slept on Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's why Patrick Mahomes is going to have another MVP-like season. Same thing like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Those type of guys. But Mahomes, I just feel like he's getting less talked about now, which I don't really understand why. Mahomes is still nice. He's still legit. Yes, he still has some improvement in the pocket, but overall right now, 8 touchdowns. Dude, Mahomes is still balling out. Travis Kelce, 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans is back for the Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette, I'm expecting him to have a big game. I think this is really a coin flip game. The spread right now is even. I think, the line, to me, this game is so hard to pick. It really is. Kind of me want to go, all right, I'll go Tampa Bay because they're at home. So that's who I'll take. But leading up to this game, it's going to be tough. It really is. After the hurricane, everything that's happened in Florida, hopefully everybody's good there. But Tampa Bay right now, right now they're kind of dealing with adversity. Not just the hurricane, but what happened last week, playing at home. Green Bay came in, beat you guys by 2 points. They were kind of sloppy, having false start penalties. Just unnecessary penalties that the Buccaneers do not do. I think they'll correct it. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay over Kansas City in a close one. 45.5 is the over-under. And to me, I think, honestly, I'd go with the over. I'd go with the over because you got Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes right here, okay? guys who like to throw the ball, who are going to throw it all the time. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to go Bucs in a close one just because they're at home and everything that's happened in the past week. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay over the Kansas City Chiefs. And then we got the Minnesota Vikings versus the New Orleans Saints. This game is played in London, 9 o'clock a.m. in the East Coast time, which is pretty crazy. I think this is awesome. All the people out in London watching this game, it's going to be a fun game. Kirk Cousins, 5 touchdowns this year, 3 picks. And like I said before with Kirk Cousins, I'm not really sold on him. I think Minnesota should have really drafted a younger quarterback, something like that. Overall, I just think, dealing with Kirk Cousins is just like, really, dude? It's kind of like a Ryan Tannehill in a way. It's just like those type of quarterbacks are not going to win you a Super Bowl, dude. They're just not. I think Minnesota eventually needs to go draft a young quarterback who's triple threat quarterback, can run, can pass, can do it all. I'm not like trying to blame everything on Kirk Cousins. There's so many weapons around Kirk Cousins. Really, it's just like, how are they losing some of these games? Like, you got Justin Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the league, 2 touchdowns this year. Dalvin Cook, a great running back. Everything right now is definitely on Kirk Cousins this year. If you guys make it to the playoffs, how far are you going to go? Everything's on Kirk Cousins offensively. And then we got the, Jameis Winston, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks. Looking at this, some injuries on New Orleans Saints side. Kamara, he's questionable right now. I'm going to go Minnesota at 3. I think Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson's going to have a big game. I like Minnesota. I really do. It's in London. This is going to be a good game. It's more of a coin flip game. I'm not sold on the Saints right now. Their new look, their new coach. I like Minnesota Vikings to win. I'll take the 3-point spread. 41.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over, but I like Minnesota over the New Orleans Saints. And then we got the Cleveland Browns versus the Atlanta Falcons. Cleveland Browns are 1-point favorites in this matchup, which to me is kind of surprising, honestly. It really is. I'm going to go Atlanta. I just looked at this game and I said there's something about why Cleveland is favorite. I don't know, but I'm telling you what, Marcus Mariota this year has played really solid. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Cordell Patterson, the running back, he's questionable right now, which is huge. And I think if he's going to miss, yes, I can see why Cleveland is favorite. But on the flip side is you got Drake London, that rookie receiver, over 200 yards receiving, and then 2 touchdowns. I think, for Marcus Mariota and Drake to get on that same page, I think that's what they'll do. And I think they'll throw the ball out, air it out. I think it's going to be all Atlanta. It's in Atlanta. So now on the flip side for the Browns it's the run game. It's the X Factor, Nick Chubb, on my fantasy squad, 341 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, he's a baller, dude. He really is a baller, and I like where he's headed right now. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks today. Really. I can't believe it. Consistently putting good points up on my fantasy squad. So I love Nick Chubb, and I think if the run game's right for the Cleveland Browns this game, I can see Cleveland 100% winning. But I just think Atlanta right now, the way they played, even played the Rams a couple weeks ago, really, they came back and could have won that game. So that's why I'm going to go Atlanta. They dealt with more adversity. I'm going to go Atlanta. I like Marcus Mariota. 47 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the under, but I like Atlanta in a close one, a shootout. It's going to be good. And then we got the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point favorites. Look, Cowboys are looking honestly pretty nice without Dak. And we got to give a shout out to Cooper Rush, 514 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Really, Cooper Rush, he's a smart quarterback. He's one of those quarterbacks that's not going to lose you the game. He's going to make the right decisions, the right passes, the right runs, the right reads. And I think, Cowboys right now are surprising a lot of people, even the Cowboy fans. Like, when Dak got hurt, everybody was like, oh, it's over for them. The Cowboys, it's done. That's it, dude. But, 2 straight wins without Dak. I'm telling you what, this is a huge game for Dallas. If they could get this 3rd win straight in a row without Dak, this is huge, dude. And really, it starts with Cooper Rush, but it also starts with defense for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm telling you what, their defense is legit. Micah Parsons, man, he's a baller, dude. I'm telling you what they got going right now defensively, something special for the Cowboys, and it's something to be talked about. And they can put pressure on them, and I think Carson Wentz has his hands full this game. 7 touchdowns, 3 picks. Terry McLaurin, 1 touchdown, a nice receiver for Washington. But honestly, I'm going to go Dallas at home, which I could see Washington winning this game. But I'm telling you what, I expect a big game from Zeke, really. I mean, only 1 touchdown this year. Tony Pollard, 1 touchdown as well. I guess they're kind of a duo back, but for me, Ezekiel Elliott, he's too talented right now. I want to see the hunger back. I want to see a breakout game from Zeke, and this is the game to do it. If the Cowboys win this game, it's going to be because it's Zeke, man. Have a breakout game, and I think Zeke understands, hey, Dak's out. This is my time to shine here. Let me get a big game here. Let me rush for over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns. Let me block for Cooper Rush, pick up some coverages, do all the things that you need to do what Ezekiel Elliott is normally used to doing, is breaking tackles, making people miss in the open field. I want to see that old Zeke, so I expect him to come out this game and have a big game against Washington and run all over Washington. So I'm going to go the Cowboys over the Washington Commanders in a close one, but I'll still do that 3-point spread all day. And then we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 3.5-point favorites. This is an interesting game, dude, and a lot of people are hurt on the Lions, man. We got St. Brown, their star receivers out with the ankle injury. DeAndre Swift, he's out with the shoulder injury, that star running back. All they really have is a lot of backups coming in. Jared Goff, 7 touchdowns, 2 picks, 748 yards passing this year. So Jared Goff has done his job this year. I will give him credit that. Now, on the flip side with Seattle, you got Geno Smith, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Then you got Tyler Lockett, 211 yards receiving. And then DK Metcalf. I like, something's telling me that Seattle's going to pull this out. I just think right now the Lions have too many injuries, too many star players that they're going to miss out on this game. So I'm going to go Seattle with the upset here. I think Seattle wins in a close one. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Lions do end up winning this game because of Jared Goff. That's how they're going to win, is Jared Goff's passing, his ability to throw the ball down the field. That's how they'll win. But I just think Seattle right now, defensively, they're flying around in the ball. I like Seattle in a close one to beat the Lions. 48 is the over-under. I'd probably go with the over in this one, which sounds pretty crazy, but a lot of the experts are going with the under. But I like the over, but I like Seattle with the upset here. And then we got the Chicago Bears versus the New York Giants. Giants are 3-point favorites. Daniel Jones has surprised me a little bit this year, played a little bit better than last year, but nothing really stuck out to me yet where it's like, oh, dude, Daniel Jones is the next Eli Manning, like he's going to lead the New York Giants to the Super Bowl. No, dude, chill, pump the brakes. That's not the guy. I think, really it's developing into a good quarterback, but nowhere near Eli Manning, nowhere near a Super Bowl yet. Saquon Barkley, is a baller, 2 touchdowns this year, over 300 yards rushing. Now, on the flip side for the Bears, it really starts with Justin Fields. And Justin Fields, look, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks this year, 297 yards passing. Look, there are some leaks in Justin Fields' game, which he's still young, still fresh in the league right now. So, part of me wants to go with the upset here. And I'm going to go Bears over the Giants. I think the Bears' defensive line is the X factor here. If you guys can put pressure on Daniel Jones and stop Saquon Barkley from breaking out into that, on the sideline to the open field, I really think the Bears can win this game and pull it off, pull the upset off. I'm telling you what right now. So I got the Chicago Bears over the New York Giants, with the upset pick. I think Justin Fields is going to have a great game, arguably his best game yet in his career. This is the game to do it. In New York, bright stage. I think Justin Fields gets it done. So I like the Chicago Bears over the New York Giants. 48 is the over-under. That I don't want to touch. I probably go with the under, but I like Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears to squeak out a close victory over the Giants. And then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly 6.5-point favorites, the only undefeated team left in the NFL right now. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. I honestly cannot believe that they're undefeated and the only undefeated team left. That is crazy. If you would have told me at week 1 that Philly would be the only undefeated team by week 4, I would have laughed at you. I would have said, stop it, dude. Stop smoking that dumb stuff. I'm telling you what. But Jalen Hurts has come to play this year. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 916 yards passing, dude. A.J. Brown, over 300 yards receiving and a touchdown. Miles Sanders is balling out as well, 1 touchdown. Man, I'm telling you, Philly's on a roll. And to me, I can't really take Jacksonville, but I will say one thing, though. Jacksonville is legit. Trevor Lawrence is come to play this year. We saw him have a terrible rookie season. Same thing that Peyton Manning did. Peyton Manning had a terrible rookie season. He didn't do well. And people were like, like kind of giving up on Peyton Manning, right? No, it happens, dude. And I think Trevor Lawrence is really becoming that quarterback, that franchise quarterback that the Jacksonville Jaguars need. They need him. In the future, I'm telling you, I could see him winning playoff games and arguably a Super Bowl. He already won, I believe, 2 national championships at Clemson. So what makes you think that he can't win a Super Bowl? I know it's a lot different, higher step levels, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence is legit, but still, I'll probably lean more towards Philly with this pick. You got James Robinson, 3 touchdowns for the Jags. Christian Kirk, 267 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars are definitely a surprising team this year to a lot of people. Look at their season last year. They were terrible. Now, this year, man, I'm telling you, if they get this win here, this will be huge for Jacksonville Jaguars. But still, I'm leaning more towards Philly, and I'd probably say Philly money line here. 6.5. I think this game's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great game, 3 or 4 touchdowns. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. Hey, 45.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over. Now, watch it be a low-scoring game, but I just see it being a high-scoring game because of Trevor Lawrence and Jalen Hurts, what they can do, what they can produce. They can run. They can break out into the open field, make a play down the field. That's what these young guns can do. So I think this is going to be a great game, and honestly, I would not sleep on Jacksonville. Jacksonville can definitely win this game, and it starts with Trevor Lawrence, and it starts with the Jacksonville Jaguars defense as well. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm leaning more towards Philly money line, so I can't wait to that game. That's going to be a close one. And then we got the New York Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. Both teams are 1-2. My thing is dealing with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Coach Mike Tomlin. I'm wondering, when are they going to start Kenny Pickett? A Pittsburgh kid, played at Pittsburgh University, got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's really fate right now. Fate, destiny's coming into play, and I do think we could arguably see Kenny Pickett play this game. I would love it, dude, and I think all the Pittsburgh fans would love it. I just think Mitch Trubisky, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. We saw him in Chicago. I just think Mitch Trubisky's a good backup quarterback. He's not a superstar quarterback. There's some really large leaks in Mitch Trubisky's game where it's just like, man, how? Holds the ball too long, throws it kind of unorthodox at some of his throws. It's just, to me, it's just like he's not that guy. I think Mike Tomlin's going to, do some search here, and definitely if they lose this game and Kenny Pickett doesn't play, Kenny Pickett's got to get an opportunity here. He's got to for the Steelers, man, but I'm going to go Steelers. It's hard for me to believe that the Steelers are going to lose at home against the Jets. On the flip side, though, for the New York Jets fans, the greatest news you guys will receive all week is definitely Zach Wilson is returning as a starter after he hurt his knee in preseason with that. Really, nobody hit him, though. He just kind of was running weird and just planted weird. I don't know. Kind of like twisted his knee a little bit, but he's back. He's 100%. This is huge for the Jets. Garrett Wilson, their star receiver, 2 touchdowns this year. I expect Zach and Garrett to be on the same page. Now, this could be an upset game, but I'm still going Pittsburgh at home. Even though Zach Wilson is returning, I'm going Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, they have all the experience, the championships, so I'm going to go Steelers at home. 41.5 is the over-under. I probably lean more towards the under. A lot of slow offenses, and I expect the Steelers to have a great run game with Harris. Harris 1 touchdown this year, so I expect them to get the run game going as well. So I like Pittsburgh all day over the New York Jets. And then we got the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams are 2-1. This is definitely one of the playoff games that could definitely be down the line. I can't wait for this. This game definitely could be, I'm telling you what, this game, I think this is the best game all weekend. Absolutely. You got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, 2 young guns. I'm telling you what, in the MVP race already. So I love this matchup. And I'm honestly, I don't know who to pick. It's really a coin flip. Obviously, the Bills were preseason favorites to win it all. So obviously, they're 3-point favorites right now. Josh Allen over 1,000 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, only 2 picks. And then the star receiver, Stephon Diggs, out of Maryland, 4 touchdowns, 344 yards receiving. I mean, dude, the Bills are rolling. They are definitely rolling. Got Von Miller on defense. I'm telling you, it makes sense to go Bills here. Now, on the flip side is you're dealing with Lamar Jackson here. 749 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, and only 2 picks. And he also has 243 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns. And I think just what Lamar can do is really, he can do it all. He can run, he can throw it in the pocket, he can do a number of different things. And I think for Lamar Jackson, really all the pressure's off Lamar. I think a lot of the pressure with the Baltimore Ravens is on their defense, dude. They gave up, 42 against the Miami Dolphins, and Lamar put up 38. It's like Lamar Jackson in the offense, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the Ravens defense, and normally we're used to saying the Baltimore Ravens have a solid defense, great safeties, great linebackers, flying around the ball. You got the Hamilton guy out of Notre Dame. I just think right now, Lamar Jackson, he's the X factor to their team, though. He's their heartbeat. He's their heart and soul. And as far as Lamar Jackson will take them, as far as they'll go. If he wants to go to the Super Bowl, I believe in Lamar. I believe in the Ravens. I just think their defense right now is a big question mark. Mark Andrews, Lamar's favorite target, 245 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns, a big tight end. I think they're going to be on the same page. I think this is going to be a shootout down to the wire, kind of like the Bills-Miami game. But I'm going to go with the upset here. A lot of people are going Bills. I'm going to go Ravens at home. I think, Harbaugh, the experience he has in Lamar, he's just really maturing quickly into the pocket, getting better, more comfortable into the pocket. So I'm going to go Ravens with the upset, 24-27 in a close game. Down to the wire. I think Tucker hits the game-winning field goal. I think this is going to be a great game. Nothing to take away from Josh Allen, what he's done. It's amazing. Josh Allen and Lamar, dude, I'm telling you, this is an MVP-like matchup, a playoff-type game. So I can't wait for this, but I'm going to go Ravens with a close upset. 51 is the over-under. A lot of people, a lot of the experts, the whales, they're definitely going with the over. It makes sense, right? I mean, Josh Allen, Lamar, they can put up crazy numbers, so it would make sense to go with the 51, go with the over there, but I like the Ravens in a close one. I think Lamar's going to have a great game. Same thing with Josh Allen, but it's going to come down to the wire, so I like the Ravens all day in this matchup. And then we got the LA Chargers versus the Houston Texans. The Chargers are 5.5-point favorites. They took an L last week to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, Justin Herbert, 910 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 2 picks. The thing is, we're dealing with the Chargers coming into this game this week is there's so many injuries, dude. They got a lot of people out. Keenan Allen out. Joey Bosa out with the hamstring injury. Might have to get surgery on that. Who knows how long he's going to be out. That's huge, dude. That is massive. And I think for the Texans, luckily they're playing the Houston Texans. I mean, Texans, one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now, the worst team technically right now is the Las Vegas Raiders because they haven't won a game yet, which is crazy to think. But I think the Houston Texans, Davis Mills, a solid quarterback, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. But, on the flip side, I'm going to go Chargers money line. Even the 5.5 to me is a little bit too high. I think this will be a closer game. But ultimately, I think Justin Herbert's going to have a big game. Even dealing with all the injuries that the Chargers are dealing with right now, I like him. I like him because of Justin Herbert, what he can do. And I think what they're going to do in this game is really just throw the ball out and throw it on the Houston Texans secondary. That's what they plan on doing, and that's what I think they'll do. So I'm going to go the LA Chargers over the Texans all day in this matchup. I'll even take the 5.5, even though I originally said money line would be a smart play as well. 45 is the over-under. I probably lean more towards the under, but I like the LA Chargers over the Houston Texans. And then we got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. Both teams are 1-2. Carolina Panthers are 1-point favorites. Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick this year, 550 yards passing. Look, I just think there's still the same inconsistency with Baker as his deep ball. It's just not accurate. It's just, we've seen it dealing even in Cleveland. He'd throw long balls and just wasn't so accurate, throwing picks where he shouldn't be throwing in double, triple coverage. But, he can correct that for sure. But the X factor of the Carolina Panthers is not Baker Mayfield. It's the run game and Christian McCaffrey. 243 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. I think McCaffrey's really coming into his own. But the thing is to play against the Carolina Panthers is like, hey, we don't want McCaffrey to beat us. We want Baker Mayfield to beat us, dude. McCaffrey can beat a team absolutely. He can rush all over you. He can get it out in the flats. He can get screen passes. He can do it all. Even mismatch with a linebacker down the field. But ultimately, I think Baker, man, he's the X factor here. And Kyler Murray this year, man, 784 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. I'm still not 100% sold on the Kyler Murray. There's still some plays where it's just like, man, what is Kyler Murray thinking, dude? That's not really a chip mentality. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of learning curves dealing with Kyler Murray. It kind of wants me to think, hey, I want to go Carolina at home. Now, on the flip side, James Conner, 90 rushing yards, 1 touchdown for Arizona. Marquise Brown, he's questionable with that foot injury. That's huge. I think if Marquise Brown is out, I definitely go Carolina. I really think so. But Ultimately, I'm going to go Arizona. I think they're going to get this job done. I think the X factor for Arizona to win this game is to stop Christian McCaffrey. That's what you have to do. Put the game in Baker Mayfield's hands, not McCaffrey's. That's what you're going to have to do. So if they do that and succeed, they will win this game. So I'm going to go Arizona. 43 is the over-under. 43.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over. I really would. I think Kyler Murray, Baker are going to have a good game. And McCaffrey, Connor, I think they're going to have a good game as well on the run game. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go Arizona with the close one with the upset. And then we got that New England Patriots versus the Green Bay Packers. This is another interesting matchup. Green Bay Packers favored by 9.5, which I kind of think is a little too high. I think if they were favored by 6.5, I would jump right on it. Yes, I'm going to go Green Bay, but I would say go money line here. Yes, you're not getting the best odds to your money, but still at the end of the day, it's just a money line pick. Hey, if Green Bay wins by 1 point, you win the bet. It doesn't matter. But now if you're taking Green Bay at 9.5, they have to win by 10 or more for you to win the bet. It's a little tough. And you're playing against the New England Patriots, which Matt Jones is out. Brian Hoyer to start here, which is kind of interesting to me. With Coach Bill Belichick, the great coach that he is, I think Bailey Zappi needs to get an opportunity here. I really do. Why not? In Lambeau Field, dude, this would be great, man. I think Bailey Zappi, coming from a small school, but he had the most touchdown passes last year. I'm telling you what, dude, this guy is a gamer. And I think Bill Belichick, there's a reason that they drafted him, and I think this is one of the reasons here. I expect to see Bailey get a little some PT here. I would love it, dude. I think Bailey Zappi deserves it, man. He's a true baller, and I'm telling you what, he could overtake Brian Hoyer and Mac Jones' job. I'm telling you, he just needs to get that opportunity, and this could be a great opportunity for him, even though Brian Hoyer is starting. But Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Aaron Jones, 217 yards rushing. Then obviously Aaron Rodgers' favorite target, Randall Cobb. He's been with Rodgers for a long time. They know each other well. I just think for Aaron Rodgers here, it's just like I want to see more growth in their offense. I want to see more players getting involved instead of a couple of the same receivers. I want to see the tight ends get involved, the running backs get involved in the throwing game. I want to see a different type of level of regression on offense dealing with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. But Green Bay at home, I'm going to go Green Bay. Even 9.5 is a little too much. That's why I said money line, but I can see why people are taking that spread. Absolutely. I like it. They're at home. 40's the over-under. I'll probably go with the over, but I expect Aaron Rodgers to have a big game here. 3 or 4 touchdowns here, Aaron Rodgers. That's what I expect him to see this game. So go Green, go Pack, go. And then we got the Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, like I said, they're winless this year. That's crazy to me, dude. I never expected Las Vegas Raiders to be winless. If I were to choose a team to be winless, it'd be like the Houston Texans or something. Like, really, the Raiders? How? It's crazy to me. Derek Carr, 850 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 4 picks. Devontae Adams, his main target, 3 touchdowns this year. Darren Waller, 1 touchdown. I think this is a must-win game for the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a playoff game here. You can't go down 0-4 and really expect to make the playoffs this year. You gotta get the dub here. You got to. So the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm riding on you guys. I'll take the 2.5. And the reason I'm taking them, not just because a lot of the pressure's on them, is because it's a must-win game. On the flip side, Denver Broncos offensively is playing terrible. Russell Wilson, that offense just looks out of sync. Not good chemistry at all. I don't know what's going on, but we saw the game last weekend where it's just like, wow, they squeaked out a lucky victory. Really. So I think, Russ, 743 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Cortland Sutton, 291 yards receiving. I just really don't see it that much on Denver's side right now. A lot of confusion offensively, and Russell Wilson, he's a champion. He'll get him on the right page come towards the middle to the end of the season this year. But ultimately, I'm going Las Vegas Raiders. A must-win for you guys, and you're dealing with the Denver Broncos offense that's out of sync right now. So I'm going Las Vegas Raiders. 45 is the over-under. That's a tough one. It's a really tough one. I'd lean more towards the over, which I typically do, dealing with high-throwing quarterbacks who like to throw the deep ball like Derek Carr and Russell Wilson. But I'm telling you, Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders, this is a must-win game for you guys. You got to win here. So I'm going Raiders all day in this matchup. It's going to be interesting. And then we got the Monday night game, the LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. This team is very familiar with each other. And really, the 49ers have had their number. I mean, we go back to the playoff game this past year where really they were one pick away from winning that game. And we saw San Francisco drop Matt Stafford's interception late game when San Francisco was up 14-17 in that playoff game, and they let it slip right through their hands. And then Matt Stafford, the next play, gets a first down, and they end up scoring a touchdown that drive. And it's just like, attention to detail. If that DB catches the ball, we're thinking, hey, San Francisco's in the Super Bowl instead of the Rams. That's how close these games are. And really, this game right here, and the 49ers are favorite right now, 1.5, maybe 1. I'm telling you, this is a coin flip game, and I can see why the Rams could win this game right now. I do think they're better offensively, absolutely. Matt Stafford, 4 touchdowns, only 5 picks. The best receiver in the game, Cooper Kupp, 280 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. I just think offensively for the 49ers, they're still trying to find that identity right now with Trey Lance getting hurt, and you got Jimmy G coming in with two touchdowns, 1 pick. And I want to see Deebo Samuel, they got to use him a little bit more. And just like they already do, but use him more this game. And I think Deebo Samuel's the X factor offensively for the San Francisco 49ers versus this Rams defense. I really do. It's going to be a high-powered game. It's going to be great. I could see it being a low-scoring game. So 42.5 to me is a little too high. So I'd probably go with the under there. But Deebo Sweeney, the San Francisco 49ers, man, this is going to be close. It really is. It's a tough game. I probably lean more towards the Rams right now. I think the Super Bowl winning champions, there's a reason, and I think Matt Stafford, the reason I'm betting on the Rams is because they have a better offense than Jimmy G. I like Matt Stafford better than Jimmy G. Jimmy G's a solid quarterback, but he's not that quarterback to get you over the hump necessarily. He's got great players around him, but, technically, Jimmy G's just an average quarterback in my opinion. So I'm going to go Rams with the upset right here. So it's going to be a great game, which I won't even call it an upset. It's going to be great, but, what a weekend. Week 4, really some great games. My Indianapolis Colts, they got to get this done. They got to. If the Indianapolis Colts lose this game, we could safely say, hey, they're not going to win over 8 games this year, and they'll probably miss the playoffs. So I think the Indianapolis Colts are definitely in a huge game this weekend, so I'm going to go them. And then obviously the Las Vegas Raiders, another huge game. But upset alert games is definitely, I'm telling you guys right now, Philly is on upset alert against Jacksonville Jaguars. Upset alert game. I'm telling you, a lot of people are like, what? No freaking way. I'm telling you right now, Jacksonville's no joke. I can't wait. Week 4 of the NFL, baby. It's the Cloud with Cam show. Let's go!